Have you ever wondered how close we've come to the brink of nuclear annihilation? Let's turn back the clock to 1962, to the Cuban Missile Crisis. This was a time when the world held its breath as the United States and the Soviet Union, two superpowers, teetered on the edge of nuclear war. The stage for this high-stakes drama was set by the complex geopolitics of the Cold War era. The United States, a champion of democracy, and the Soviet Union, a bastion of communism, were locked in an ideological struggle, with Cuba caught in the crossfire. Fidel Castro's Cuba, only 90 miles from American shores, had sided with the Soviets, escalating the tension. The discovery of Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba by the United States marked the beginning of a 13-day standoff, a crisis that brought the world frighteningly close to nuclear destruction. This was the closest the world has ever come to nuclear war, a chilling reminder of the destructive power mankind wields. The tension began to mount when American reconnaissance discovered Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba. The year was 1962, and this unexpected discovery sent shockwaves through the corridors of power in Washington. The Cold War had suddenly become hot, and the world was on the brink of a nuclear showdown. In the White House, President John F. Kennedy grappled with this alarming development. The stakes were high, and the margin for error was thin. The Soviets, led by Premier Nikita Khrushchev, had upped the ante, turning Cuba into a nuclear launch pad just 90 miles from American shores. Over the course of 13 tense days, the world watched as the superpowers squared off. Kennedy's decision to establish a naval blockade around Cuba led to a standoff that tested the nerves of both leaders. The world was caught in the crossfire, teetering on the edge of nuclear war. With each passing day, the world held its breath, waiting for the next move in this deadly game of chess. In a world on tenterhooks, resolution finally came through tense negotiations and agreements. Amid the palpable tension, the United States and the Soviet Union found a pathway to peace. In a significant move, the United States pledged not to invade Cuba, a promise that was instrumental in de-escalating the crisis. Concurrently, the Soviets agreed to dismantle their missiles in Cuba, thus pulling the world back from the brink of nuclear war. But the fallout of the crisis wasn't limited to these immediate actions. As a testament to the severity of the crisis, the United States and the Soviet Union established a direct communication line, famously known as the Hotline. This line, a symbol of the desire to prevent such a crisis from happening again, has had a profound influence on subsequent international diplomacy, fostering a culture of dialogue over confrontation. The crisis may have been averted, but its echoes still resonate in the corridors of power. The Cuban Missile Crisis serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of escalating international tensions. This crisis, teetering on the brink of nuclear annihilation, taught us crucial lessons that continue to echo in the corridors of power. One paramount lesson is the importance of open communication and diplomacy. The establishment of the hotline between the US and the Soviet Union, in the aftermath of the crisis, underscores the need for direct dialogue in averting misunderstandings and miscalculations that can escalate into full-blown conflicts. Secondly, the crisis highlighted the immense responsibility that nuclear powers bear. The actions of leaders like Kennedy and Khrushchev, their decisions, and the weight they carried serve as a stark reminder of the catastrophic consequences of nuclear warfare. Lastly, the crisis underscored the need for crisis management, the importance of cool-headedness, and the value of negotiation over aggression. Even as we stand over 6 decades removed from the crisis, its lessons remain a beacon, guiding our path in an ever-turbulent world.